Now, many people in here are woke. What does this have to do with the plane, Hassan? Says Momoko. Great question. Many people in here are already woke, so we already know racism, not very smart. Kind of stupid, as a matter of fact. Right? However, how stupid can you get is a real question that we must ask ourselves on this beautiful day. And the answer to that is Tim Pool's stupid. Does anyone have the clip that I'm talking about? Because Tim Pool, folks, he had a phenomenal take. A phenomenal take about the Boeing Alaska Airlines 737 Boeing flight. For those of you who don't know what happened on this Alaska Airlines flight, I'll give you a brief analysis on it. Okay, first and foremost. Oh, do you have the video? You found it? Oh, here it is. Here it is. It's so good. It's so fucking good. So, for those of you who have been under a rock, there was a very viral video that came out over the weekend, okay, of a Alaska Airlines Boeing 737 flight that had a little bit more breathing room, okay? Popped off on TikTok, popped off on Twitter. Turns out one of the doors that was not being used as a door just kind of popped out. Okay, extra ventilation, if you will. Now, because of this, hours after the Alaska Airlines flight, they had to make an emergency landing in Portland, Oregon, because a door plug blew out. Passengers received an email from the carrier. And what are they receiving? They're receiving $1,500 to assist with any inconveniences and a full refund for the aborted flight. Now, that's not the main story here. Now, the door situation was kind of funny, kind of interesting. Luckily, nobody died. Nobody actually was injured. The people sitting on that row were accidentally not on that flight. Okay? Now, you say not a door, an actual panel. It's a panel where there is supposed to be a door. The Alaska Airlines is not using it as a door, however. So technically, it is a panel. So, yeah, here, I'll show you the video too. Here it is. Not even 20 minutes into the flight, a part of the plane flew off. There you go, extra breathing room. Now, it's an emergency exit door? No, it's not. It is supposed to be an emergency exit door, and in certain airplanes, it can be used as an emergency exit door. On this plane, however, this airline is not using it as an emergency exit door, so you're not correct on that, okay? There is no door there. There is no door there. It's just simply a panel, okay? Now, I am not an aviation expert. However, I do know many aviation experts, some of which I did consult. Why did I do this? Because I wanted to see whether there was any veracity to the claims being made by Tim Pool here, claims that I also saw Elon Musk also hype up after I noticed that, like, this new story was being presented as yet another way that black people are actually dumber than white people. So let's take a look at what the real responsibility, who the real responsible parties are in the Boeing Alaska Airlines 737. Is it capitalism? Is it cost cutting? Is it corner cutting? Is it an endless profit-seeking structure that has created worse and worse products? Or is it simply a hypothetical black pilot who's just much dumber than a white pilot? Well, let's take a look.
Was erased. The question is why? Now, they'll come out and say, oh, it was just an accident. It's an accident. But I wonder if there's actually some malfeasance in that right now it's an argument that the planes are no good. Following this report, we've got new information that loose bolts are found on door plugs on grounded United Airlines Boeing 737 MAX 9 jets. These door plugs are areas of the plane. They're not emergency exits. They're optional. Some they do use, some they don't. I'm wondering how much of this is actually the planes are bad, or Are we looking at a diversity hire problem where we have these pilots who are incapable of doing their jobs? And so you're getting.
Just say the N-word, man. Just say the N-word. Like, what is this? What is this song and dance we are playing, dog? What is happening? Yo, there is nothing more cucked than being a conservative in 2024 where you just want to say it so bad and you're constantly shackled by woke culture, stopping you from being able to say it because then you'll be perceived as a racist. So you have to constantly find new initiatives to be like, DEI, CRT. Meanwhile, you just want to say the N-word. That's it. That's it, brother. Because there is no better situation where you tried to spear dick this DEI initiative nonsense, okay? Where like the responsibility of the pilot is so stupid. He's not even talking about a diversity mechanic hire, chatter. No, he's trying to say it must be black pilots.
Getting pilot error. Maybe the cabin was pressurized in.
No. It gets so much dumber. Please.
Jobs. And so you're getting pilot error. Maybe the cabin was pressurized incorrectly, causing the door to blow out. They're then yelling in the cockpit, what did you do? What did you press? Oh no, I pressed the wrong button. And then they realize we will get in trouble and be sued if people find out what we admitted to here. So they erase the black box voice recorder. So then it's oops, we have no idea. It must just be the planes are no good.
I love that, dude. I love that so much. I love that. He's like, what if it's a DEI pilot and they accidentally hit a button? There's just that big old eject the door button there, okay? And they hit it, okay? And then all of a sudden they're like, oh no, dude, I hit the eject door button. Stop. And then the other pilot's like, no, dude, as black pilots, we're so stupid and worse than white pilots. And you're also a gay woman, black pilot. Oh, no, we just said it on public record. What do we do? Like, that's what happened. Like, in his mind, this is the events that unfolded. So I looked into it, right? Like, I wanted to understand if there is any physical way that panel could have actually gotten yeeted as a consequence of pilot error, okay? And the answer is no. So if he was talking about DEI, you could have probably said black mechanics are getting hired due to DEI. You could have said, I don't know, Boeing is hiring more black and brown engineers as a consequence of DEI, and they're bad at their jobs. Like, even then, I'm teaching you how to be better at racism, dog. You could have done a better job. You're not even trying. He said, it's the black and brown possible diversity hire pilots that hit the magical ejecto patronum door button. And that's what happened when it's not even a fucking door. There's no door there. It's a panel. But they erased the black box law. It's just like, yeah, there is a bandwidth to how many hours it records. They recorded over it. Okay. We talked about this already. By the way, we don't even know if the pilots are black or not. Like, that's the other part about it. We don't even know if they're DEI pilots. What if they're white? But to Tim Pool, it doesn't matter. Okay? That's the funniest part about it. It was a woman pilot. There you go. That's it. They're making women pilots now. Nope. There you have it.
Ashley St. Clair was tweeting about a flight that landed from Newark, New Jersey, and it bounced on the runway, hard landing, nearly totaling the plane. I think the plane is disabled. It, like the fuselage looks like it was bent and cracked up. And according to Ashley St. Clair, or I should say, she asked whether or not this was a diversity hire who was fired and then rehired, even though they shouldn't have been. We got a pilot shortage. Flight cancellations like crazy. Are these airlines hiring in large numbers, and are they hiring?
I like it. This is what constitutes for reporting. I saw a plane land, and it landed hard. So then I was like, is this like a black person or a woman? And they didn't really tell me anything, so I'm just making the rest of this up. But yes, I'm tweeting out that I saw a plane land hard, and I thought to myself, this must be a non-white man pilot. It's awesome. Like, this is just such a cartoonish way of coping about how white men are no longer on top, brother. I mean, they can't even hide it. Like, they all look like they all are listening to Tim, and they're just like, in their minds, they're like, this sucks shit.
For diversity, because we know Boeing's all about it. Take a look at this. Global Equity, Diversity, and
Oh, he's doing it. Never mind. He's doing it. Global Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion
Report. I'm wondering if what's really happening is the infrastructure failures we're seeing are due to the fact that all of these companies for the past...
He's covering his bases. He's like, if it wasn't the woman pilot, if it's not the woman pilot, then it's the women engineer.
Last decade plus have been prioritizing hiring.
Yeah, and planes famously didn't crash before we started hiring black people and women, brown people and women, just women in general, honestly.
Based on ideology instead of meritocracy.
Yeah. I don't know what to say, other than the fact that there was another Twitter account. What is it called? Like IQ or something? The one that does like race science that Elon Musk was replying to. You know, our very own apartheid lover. Wait, what? Diversity is what doomed the Titanic sub. Yeah, no, that's pretty funny too, because this guy's a fucking rabid anti-Semite, I'm pretty sure, right? And he's literally using the diversity hiring has worked out so well in the past. Titanic Tour CEO didn't hire 50-year-old white guys because they weren't inspirational. I love this. Brother, there is no person more responsible for the fucking idiotic capsizing of the Titanic sub than literally a white guy. So even when it's a white guy who's directly responsible, these fucking dumbass Nazis look at that and go, it must have been the black women that he hired. Like, what are you saying? Or identical, when we're talking about failure, the Titanic. It must have been DEI responsible for the Titanic. God, these people are so stupid, dude. Now, before you hyper-focus on my words as far as like me saying like, oh, just say the N-word. You want to say the N-word and be like, no, Hasan, this wasn't about racism against black people. This was specifically against the women. It's the same shit. People love utilizing DEI, first and foremost against black people, obviously, but also just in general against non-white men. That's it. Here is what I wanted to show you. Where is it? You wouldn't want your doctor performing brain surgery? No. This isn't the original one that I was looking at. You wouldn't want your doctor performing brain surgery on you who was an unqualified candidate that was pushed through thanks to DEI initiatives. People need to start suing companies with DEI programs for racial and gender discrimination, bankrupt them 100%. Dude, what are you saying? Oh, here, this is the one. This is the crazy race realist, race sciences guy. HasanAbi is a terrorist. That is all. Absolutely, brother. I terrorize your mother's pussy every night with this dick. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I know I said I wasn't going to be vulgar this year, but that was just an opening, much like what I call your mother's legs. Oh my God, I'm still at it. Okay, I'm going to stop. He wasn't talking about you? Oh, shit. I'm sorry. Well, I apologize. Chatter. I got riled up. I was going to come after your dad, too, and I was going to say I fucked him as well, but this time we're not going to. Only your mom. She loves it. I'm your father now. I've adopted you. You are my son. Okay? You are my gay son or thought daughter. It's cool. I'm not doubling down. I'm saying it's in a loving manner. Okay? He's literally leaving. He left the chat already. He's like, I'm never returning ever again. 34 MKD50. Thank you for the 50 gifted subs. I've lost him. I've lost another viewer. I'm sorry. Okay. Okay. All right. Where were we? The average IQ of U.S. Air Force pilots is about 120. And the figures I've seen for major airline pilots range from 115 to 120. First of all, brother does not know. Wait, where are the figures that he's seen? Like, I love this kind of stuff because they just make stuff up. There's no way. The figures I've seen from major airlines, like I believe the U.S. Air Force numbers, right? Because like they do look for that sort of thing, which is, whatever. You know, placing this level of emphasis on IQ is already silly. Okay. But then he's like, major airline pilots range from 115 to 130. By contrast, the mean IQ of graduates from two of those United Airline HBCU partners, in air quotes, is about 85 to 90 based on the average SATs at those schools. The SAT correlates reasonably well with IQ. So here's what we've done so far. Okay. Number one, IQ is already bullshit. Okay. It doesn't mean anything. It just means you're good at test taking. Okay. Which is why the SAT correlates reasonably well with IQ. Number two, he does not have information on whether or not these hypothetical pilots have been IQ tested and whether they meet the standard that he's claiming, the average IQ range or not. Okay? So now we're 2 layers in. Like, this is why I say, just say the N-word, okay? Because the reality of the situation is like, you didn't IQ test the fucking potential black pilots that are joining United Airlines, okay? You didn't do that. You're just saying simply that the HBCU partner, like the HBCU IQ range is 85 to 90, which I don't even know, and he doesn't either, by the way. Guess what? He doesn't know that either because he doesn't actually have the IQ numbers for people that have graduated from HBCUs. He's simply saying it's about 85 to 90 because that's what the SAT scores are. So like this man does not even have the data that he claims he has. He's simply making it up. He is, yes, extrapolating. Okay, so now we're not even on the antiquated and of course silly, but for not forgotten science of art of race science and race realism. He's moved beyond it. He's saying SAT scores correspond or correlate perfectly to IQ. So I am speculating that the HBCU graduates have an IQ rating of around 85 to 90. Okay? But not only that, but you also don't even know if the pilots that have made it to the United Airline pilot program from the HBCU have been IQ tested. They haven't. No one has been IQ tested at this point. And the best part about it is, IQ tests already are not a good indicator of whether or not you're going to be a good pilot. So we're now 3 layers in to this nonsense, okay? To put this into context, the HBCU IQ averages are within 10 points of the threshold of what is considered borderline intellectual impairment. Yeah, except there is no HBCU IQ average. You made it up. You made it up. There is no HBCU IQ average numbers that you have. You made it up. Okay? Not only did he make it up, HBCUs are historic black colleges and universities. Okay? So he's just extrapolating off of made up inferences that he's working off of made up hypotheticals. And at the core of it all is just white supremacy. That's my favorite type of thinking because it's just pure unadulterated racism that is masquerading as an intellectual thought. And why do you do this? Well, you do this because you're cucked. You're a fucking cuck. You are so unimaginably cucked by liberal norms that you can't sig heil like you want to. So suck my dick. Okay? You are more cucked than Sneeko. At that point, you're so desperate to say the N-word, but you can't say it. So you have to run and change people's minds by being like, guys, well, I'm going to do a bodies and spaces here. As a white identitarian, we have to find a scientific principle behind why black people are inferior than white people. And I'm just simply extrapolating data. You're not doing shit. That's it. That's it. You are so unimaginably cucked that you can't do it. You can't say the N-word. You cannot shit on black people openly in the way that you want to, so you have to masquerade it. You have to hide as though, there's real data that you're operating off of. Just say it. So cucked. Whew. This gives me a little bit of hope, And it's the same as like Elon Musk. It will take an airplane crashing and killing hundreds of people for them to change this crazy policy of die. Okay? Instead of DEI, die. And I love that. Go ahead, Elon. Say black people are worse pilots than white people for no reason. You don't have any data for it, but you want to feel that way, and you will eat up whatever corresponds to your biases. Say it, but you can't do it. You can't do it, can you? Because then, there's some norms you can't cross. There's some boundaries you can't cross, right? You deeply want to say it, but you can't because you're fucking cucked. And that's what they hate the most. Oof. I love it. I love it. That's my silver lining in the cloud, right? These people who are so unimaginably desperate to try to do a little bit of racist agitative propaganda, but can't openly do it in the way that they would be able to if they were unshackled, right? But unfortunately, their contemporaries, their counterparts, they're going to look at them and go, yeah, I don't like this. Okay, I don't like what you're saying. It seems like you're kind of racist, and I don't like that. Racism is bad. Oh, not as bad as the top of the hour ad break, but bad nonetheless. I have a close family friend who used to fly for a major airline, a black male pilot who reported a coworker for flying under the influence of alcohol. They protected the guy who was flying drunk, a white dude, and fired my family friend. DEI my fucking ass. Now, here's the thing, guys. Yeah, the optics would be bad if they say how they feel, but they have to be cucked by optics. That's the point. That's the best part. Okay? 34 MKD50, once again, delivering the greatest initiative, allowing 50 people to no longer see the ads at the top of the hour. The biggest oiler out there. So, by the way, this is a very serious subject. Like, why this malfunction happened is a ginormous problem. You have an entire division in the federal government that dedicates itself to this investigation. You have Boeing that wants to know what happened. You have Alaska Airlines corporate that wants to know what happened. You have multiple unions, from the mechanics all the way to the engineers, all the way to the air stewardesses, all the way to the pilots, all of which want to know what happened. The idea that Tim Pool thought that he could just say, this must be a woman pilot or a black pilot, and DEI initiatives are responsible for this, and get away with it without like the truth actually coming out is so silly. But of course, people just want to hear what they want to hear. It doesn't matter. People are going to Tim because they want him to say those things. Okay? He's just giving them what they want to hear, which is, it's not our own personal failures that have caused us to not get positions in society that we were told we were entitled to. It must be some other thing. It must be some woke liberal nonsense that's elevating black people into positions of power that they do not deserve. Okay? That must be what is going on. That's how white supremacy works. That's how white supremacy operates. Yes, as the chatter said, entitled aggrievement or bereavement, right? Good shit. Anyway, new from Luke W. Goldstein, the Boeing 737 MAX plug door that ripped off on an Alaska Airlines plane only exists because of cost-cutting production techniques to facilitate cramming more passengers into the cabin. Stay with me because this is important. Airlines wanted more seats in planes, but FAA rules mandate a certain number of exit doors per passenger. Boeing preferred making a standard plane regardless of seat configurations, so they built a plug door to fill the exit door space if it wasn't needed. Aggrieved entitlement, yeah. The plug door that fell 16,000 feet into a Portland backyard is a symbol of the desire to overload planes with passengers, of standardized production, and of outsourced subcontractors, and of weak oversight from federal regulators into these dangerous schemes. All right, there it is. So it was deregulation and cost saving and not DEI. Yeah, I mean, it always is the same, man. It's always the same. Of course, at every step of the process, you can blame capitalism. By the way, the hilarious situation is that this story already happened with another Boeing MAX plane. It's always and forever about the money. It's not some weird, nonsensical, symbolic bullshit like, we got to have more black pilots. And automatically that comes with the assumption we got to have more women pilots. Automatically that comes with the assumption that like somehow black pilots or women pilots are just like worse than, white male pilots. Like, get the fuck out of here, dumbass. You're stupid and you're getting your audience to believe in dumb shit. That's what you're doing. You're misinforming your audience and you're basically singing them a fucking lullaby. And guess what happened? In the Boeing 737 MAX crash, Who do you think was blamed first? That's right, ding, 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 pilots. Boeing built an unsafe plane and then blamed the pilots when it crashed. Cost-cutting, corporate arrogance, and a new plane that was supposed to fly easy. An exclusive excerpt from Flying Blind, the 737 MAX tragedy, and the fall of Boeing. It was yet another cost-cutting initiative, okay? They tried to fix a hardware problem with new software, and that software tanked. As passengers filed in between the stowed bags, you guys know the story, okay? Boeing 737 MAX 8. Every step of this process, there is someone who is a middleman who is trying to seek more profit margins, seek higher profit margins by cutting corners. You hire less engineers. You hire less mechanics. You change regulation so that the level of control that you have and the checks and many redundancies that you're supposed to have get eliminated. Because why would you have redundancies? You have to eliminate redundancies. And when it comes to air travel, you can't eliminate redundancies. You just can't do that. Anyway, Boeing donated and sent a ton of money to the up-and-coming socialist state within America, unlike somebody. What is this? In socialist communist state, they wouldn't even have enough to make a plane. Boeing donated and sent a ton of money to the up-and-coming socialist state within America, unlike somebody. What is the socialist state? Little bro isn't in the know about the up-and-coming socialist state. Oh no. Oh no, tell me about the up-and-coming socialist state. They have a commune sponsored by Boeing? No, I'm not in the know. I work with the quality assurance on a different program and can definitely confirm the new hires are struggling. Not necessarily their fault, but rather the old timers' experience are not passing on knowledge effectively. There's been a company effort wide to solve this problem for years now. While escapement aren't acceptable, rhyme wasn't built in a day. What are you saying? The real problem is the new hires are black and brown and women, okay? Yuck. Do you understand? That's the problem. Everybody knows. Everybody knows that's the real issue. Is there any proof for this information? No. I made it up. How can I get away with making it up? Because I'm making it up about a thing that you also probably suspect because you're just as fucking stupid as I am, because that's what racism is all about. It's about a bunch of dumb people getting together and collectively deciding on a very dumb idea. Who needs fucking information? When you got a racist ass opinion in the back of your mind. I like to describe it as a puzzle piece, right? There's always like a missing puzzle piece. And when you got white supremacy guiding you, you can always slap that shit on there, dude. Like when you think about, reasoning, the art of deduction, not the art of seduction. Like when you think about like solving a problem, right? There's a bunch of different pieces there that you have to put together. Okay? Like a math equation almost. And if you don't have all the pieces, you can do something. You can seek out all of the pieces of the puzzle, try to figure out what's going on. Turn on communist HasanAbi stream. First thing I hear is Gucci shirt, Vlone, Supreme, Balenciaga, Waffle House. Wait, I didn't even say Waffle House. Did I? Anyway, point is when you're solving a problem and you don't have access to all the puzzle pieces, like you can go and investigate further. You can make certain speculations that are reasonable within the bounds of reason, or you can just make it up. right? And racism is that forever puzzle piece that you can fit into every argument. Now, if you didn't have the racism puzzle piece, how could you have thought about the situation? Pretty easy. Let's say you don't know, there's like something that's missing from the equation, right? You don't know who's at fault here, but you want to quickly make a judgment on the process. One thing you can do is look at prior Boeing 737 MAX incidents. And in that process, you can find out that in the past, at least, Boeing planes have had issues, right? And who was at fault in those past circumstances? That's right, it was Boeing. Why were they at fault? That's right, cost cutting. There you go. Probably a much easier way of arriving at the truth. Okay, if you can't find the actual investigation, if you can't do the actual investigation and you don't want to wait for the what is it called? The the National Transportation Safety Board, the NTSB, then, you know, here's what you shouldn't do. Be fucking racist and be sexist and talk about how it's like DEI that's responsible for this. And instead, either wait for the investigation to conclude, or if you're going to make a speculation, make sure that you are, I don't know, looking at the situation a little bit better. Anyway, right. Wow, what a fun story. You wouldn't want your doctor performing brain surgery, this guy says. Meanwhile, wait, Tim Urban posted this, writer, infant. I'm yet to talk to anyone about any political leaning who wants airlines doing anything but hiring the most qualified pilots regardless of race or gender. It would be great marketing for an airline to respond to these trends by announcing, we believe first and foremost is safety, which is why we are reaffirming our commitment to hiring the absolute best pilots regardless of who they are. Airlines can, of course, still work on making the pilot pipeline more accessible to a range of demographics, but the final stage of that pipeline should obviously be the entirely meritocratic hiring process. I am going to kill myself in a video game. I am going to jump out of the highest fucking balcony in a video game until I'm falling and falling and falling in said video game for at least approximately 5 to 6 minutes until I land on my brain, ensuring that it splatters on a concrete in the video game. He's literally describing what the company's initiative is in the same fucking process of criticizing it. Oh my God! Why are people so stupid? Like, what do you think? Do you think these fucking bozos over at the fucking United Airlines are just like, they're smoking cigars going, yeah, that's right, dude. More black pilots. Make sure it's the dumbest guy in the bunch. Hell yeah, dude. Let's go kill some folks. No, you fucking idiot. That's the whole point. He literally arrived at this conclusion on his own. Like, look at this. He said airlines can, of course, still work on making the pilot pipeline more accessible to a range of demographics. That's what they're doing. You're looking at the initiative that they are doing and going, wouldn't it be smart if they had an initiative like that, but still ensure that it's the best possible pilots? You fucking idiot. That's what all this DEI nonsense is at the end of the fucking day. God damn it, dude. Oh. It's so stupid. He doesn't realize that the resulting pilots can still be 75% white and 75% male. That's the other thing. Like, the hidden inference here is that white dudes are overqualified for this job. they're the only dudes who are qualified for the job. That's the problem. Okay? Over the next decade, United will train 5,000 pilots who will be guaranteed a job with United after they complete the requirements of the Aviate program, and our plan is for half of them to be women or people of color. That's still 50% white people and men, okay? Like, don't worry. 50% is still white men. Don't worry, okay? And the whole point is, one, this is a goal. That doesn't mean they're going to hit it. And two, it's not an unachievable goal by any metric. Like, white men do not have some genetic predisposition to being better airplane pilots, okay? That it doesn't work that way. Everybody can do it. So you're not actually suffering on the quality front when you're like, yeah, we should have more women pilots. It's so stupid. This is why the only time where like transphobic arguments ever make any sense whatsoever, the dumbest people on the planet, is in sports, in specifically combat sports, okay? Like, it's so dumb when people are like, I can't believe a trans woman won Jeopardy. And you go and you freak out about that, and everyone's like, what do you mean? So? Like, what? What is there, like a genetic advantage to being trans in Jeopardy? Like, what are you talking about? Or a trans woman won a beauty competition, and it's like, okay, so you're a chaser? Like, what are you talking about? Like, it doesn't make sense in those situations to even dumb guys. The only time it makes sense in certain situations is if we're talking about combat sports. That's why it's the most prescient and most like successful form of transphobia. Okay? There is no genetic predisposition for white men to be better pilots. So dumb. Don't read Megaphonics' last message. I probably shouldn't. What's so funny is that white men are statistically 30% of the American population, half of the 60% white population, yet here they are saying white men will be 50% of their hires, so they're still literally objectively overrepresented even according to the statement. Yeah, but it don't matter. White men should be 100% of pilots. And if it's 99% of pilots, that means those other guys snuck in, and gals. Okay? Like, everybody knows that. That means they snuck in to a place where they shouldn't be. Same with doctors. White men should be 100% of doctors. Thank God. Now show me the percentage of like race. Thank God. I feel so much safer now, dude. We really dodged a bullet, guys. It's so funny that the second highest race is unknown. That's awesome. God damn. A secret race, yes. A secret race we will not reveal at this point. It's dwarves. It's dwarves. It's always dwarves. You wouldn't think it. You wouldn't think it because you're like, oh, dwarves are spending time under the ground, and it's like, it must be elves. It's like, no, it's dwarves. Yeah. Yeah, you always think elves, but no, it's dwarves. Very good at flying. Very good at flight, surprisingly. Yeah. Or unknown like Hussein Obama. Yeah, no, unknown is Arab. Matt Stoller says, read this note from 21 years ago from a group of Boeing engineers predicting the crisis we're in. It's a function of the McDonnell-Douglas merger, not race. It was fights among white guys, finance versus engineering. The roots of the 737 MAX fiasco go back to 1998 fights between white guys, finance versus engineering. The fact that so many conservatives are ignorantly saying that DEI is a factor shows how much the GOP establishment won back from populists. I don't like DEI because of what civil rights movement looks like when no one has any rights except their identity grievance, and that's a very bad thing. But it's extremely obvious that DEI is used by the right to avoid looking at problems implicating their establishment. I don't even agree with that. I think it's just like them being white supremacists. This is from like Boeing forums from 21 years ago. Tarek said
But like his dog is like mad big, so like,
bro,
Hang it up.
you're like,
he's gonna love. He's gonna give so much love to Kaya when he's here. That's
his
crazy.
dog is kind of intimidating, but it's all right. We'll get along.
That's crazy. Look at that. You think that's intimidating? Look at that. Look at that. Look. She heard we're talking about her. Look at that. Look at that floofy baby. Hold on. See this? Look at this. What's up? But is it petting time? Getting pet under her neck. Anyway,
I'm pretty sure his dog is bigger than me.
he's only like 100 pounds.
But like his dog is like mad big, so like.
Where'd you get those pants? Thrift store, I think in Japan, Yoji Yamamoto.